Hello, how are you, Christian?
Good.
Welcome to Gear Talk. We're in Kingsville, Ontario in the studio. We've got Christian Vegh of LaSalle, Ontario with us, a wonderful guitarist. So Christian, how about we talk a little bit about your gear? Today you've brought many pedals, and I'm fascinated by them.
They're all pretty compact on this, this little board here.
You've got them wedged in there really good. I like how you did that.
Well, basically this is like the one where I travel with, like this kind of setup. Usually I'll have like a wah and a volume pedal, but there's not a whole lot different. The pedals are the same.
Okay. You've got a tuner over here to start with, so you're always in tune. I love that.
That also has a buffer in it, which helps you get the signal through unaffected. There's two main sounds I get out of this. There's the clean, and then there's the dirty. And the clean, like, the amp straight clean is okay, but I like adding a bunch of pedals to it. Like, this is just the amp clean.
Okay, let's hear it. Beautiful.
It's pretty nice, but if you can fatten it up with all this stuff.
Okay.
This, the EP booster adds a little bit of, like, bass.
Mm-hmm.
This pedal does the coolest thing. It's really subtle, but it makes, like, the low end kind of rumble.
Okay.
So,
oh, that's cool.
it's ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But there's like a trick you can do with compressors. There's like hidden harmonics that you can get if you use one with a coarse pedal. It's pretty cool. Check this out. Wow. The one's like way up.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do it without a compressor. They don't come through.
Wow.
If you turn it off, it's instantly gone.
Instantly gone, yeah.
So I love having the compressor on. This pedal is a clean preamp, so it's like the other layer of the clean.
Wow.
So it's kind of like there's quite a bit of a combination of effects.
That's beautiful.
So that's the clean side, and then the dirty side gets pretty complicated. Like for lead tone, I'll turn that off. This comes on. I don't know how loud it's gonna be, but
that's good. You've just added some reverb.
Well, yeah, the reverb goes through like both channels, and I actually just got that reverb pedal. Usually, I'll use an Axe FX reverb, which is top notch. But this one's sounding really good.
You're liking it.
It's got 3 presets. I guess I'll show you the different verbs I use for the clean channel. I like this very specific room sound I'm looking for. It's if I turn it up. It doesn't just sound like an ambient reverb. It actually sounds like you're kind of in a place. That's what I like my reverb to do. So that's for the clean channel, but that doesn't translate well with the lead. So I use this one, and it's a bit of a longer kind of delay that doesn't get in the way. Reverb. It trails off, and it's just kind of like some added ambience, but it sounds great for the leads.
You've probably spent hours playing with all of these buttons, right?
Yeah, I have, but honestly, it's so important because if you have bad tone, the second you start playing, no one's going to want to listen to it.
Good point.
So
that's marvelous.
That's their first impressions.
Now, your amplifier, is this a handmade amplifier?
No, this is
cool.
Usually, I don't have my main amp here. This is like kind of my travel rig. But that's it's by Victory. It's a V30 through just a Mesa 1x12. It's a loud amp.
It sure is.
Yeah. It's like we're barely scratching the surface with the volume. But usually the amp I run is the Thermion amp, and it's actually who made this pedal. He's a pretty cool dude, but it's actually getting a mod done right now. That's why I don't have it. But this pedal like is kind of, I guess it'd give you some idea of what the Thermion would sound like. But it's like a much more modern kind of thing, but the pedal, like if I can't have the amp, I'll bring the pedal. But I prefer having the actual head. There's a lot of distortion sounds I can get. If I'm playing if I want a soft distortion sound, this is like the perfect thing. It's a clean and dirty signal at the same time.
Okay.
This coarse pedal is really nice. It's an Analog Man. I'm really going all over the place.
That's
sorry
okay.
about this.
I know. I like it.
There's really no way to go about it other than to just kind of go through them all.
There it is.
Pretty lush.
That just sweetens it up. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And then it has another channel where you can get this like a vibe sound. Let me get it dialed up here.
Okay.
So it's 2-in-1, which I love.
Have you done any work ever with a Leslie speaker?
No, but that's what I'm trying to
You're trying to get that, yeah. My brother is a guitar player, and he's used Leslie's for years.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
Cool sound. Yeah.
They're definitely they sound wild. Yeah. The pedal that's pretty much always on is that Memory Man.
And which one is it?
It's
this one here?
Big one here. And if I turn it up.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, yeah.
So it definitely has a lot of coursing in it, but it does a really cool.
Just beautiful. Each one of these effects and the slight variance can change the feel of the song and take you in a whole new direction. Yeah. It's beautiful.
But I kind of like to have my own sound, whether it's clean or dirty, whatever genre of music I'm playing. And that's definitely, I can get it through this crazy, I can kind of shape it.
Yeah, that's great.
The clean tone usually always has the all these three things on, that and that. So. And it's pretty big, which I love.
Very, very nice. Wow. That's a lot of experimentation you've got to do to get this to sound great. Yeah. You also had a thing for your vocal.
Yeah, that's just something to, if I wasn't quite sure how the setup was going to be today. Yeah. So I wanted something if it was just right into a computer and there was going to be no reverb, I can have reverb, delay.
Reverb. Okay.
And there's a loop on there, which I like. But sometimes it goes crazy, we'll feedback, and then it'll record the feedback, and then you have a loop play. So sometimes you take a chance using that. So.
Okay, very good. Let's go now to your. Well, we could talk a little bit about your guitar. You're playing a Les Paul.
Yeah.
And you'd mentioned earlier that the Les Paul is one of your favorites.
Definitely. It's really I try not to get too crazy about. It's got to be this guitar I got to use. It depends on what I'm doing. For this day, I knew I was only doing 2 songs with it, and if I was doing a different kind of gig where I was playing multiple songs, different genres, I would probably use my King Blossom or a Paul Reed Smith. Okay. The King Blossom is a hollow body. It's really good for jazz and kind of all around. It does everything. The Les Paul is just rock, and I guess you can play some jazz with it. But usually it's a rock guitar. The Paul Reed Smith is kind of a well-versed guitar too, and it has a trem. So that's one of the main reasons why I use one, and they sound good. But those are pretty much the guitars that I'm pretty crazy about.
That's really good.
It's those 3.
Yeah. And if we could go back in time, what was your very first guitar?
My very first guitar was this blue Mexican Stratocaster.
And it was an electric first?
It wasn't electric. I think it was... It's definitely good to start on an electric because it's very easy to play. If you give a kid an acoustic guitar, he's gonna get really discouraged because it's not easy, and it hurts your fingers.
Yeah, well, that's good advice.
So definitely start with electric. And then I played Strats for a really long time, and then I got my first Les Paul, which was my first really good guitar. I think it was in 2000.
And is it this one or another one?
No, it was
You
another
switched?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's a different one.
Yeah.
But I can't really remember when I got it, but
How about the age of this one?
this one is like, it's made to look like it's old, which I mean, like, if I could have got this exact guitar without this aging stuff, I would have got that guitar. But it sounded so good and it felt really good, I kind of just put up with it.
It's your guitar.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It was like, it came out of the factory looking like this, which is kind of weird.
Well, it looks really good. It looks like many years of playing, and
It sounds good. That's what I like most about it. It's not the best playing guitar in the world. It's very difficult to play Les Paul, just because it's like a block of wood. But it definitely sounds really good.
great. Well, thank you for sharing all of this great advice on pedals and kids start with an electric guitter. That's a
definitely.
cool thing.
Do you want to
we'll talk about your acoustic. We can do that.
The acoustic is a Taylor. I think it's an 816C or some.
You got it. Yep. It's got CE, which is cutaway.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead. Like those guitars, Taylors, are like insanely intonated. Anything you play, it's gonna be in tune. So I love that about that guitar. It's definitely a brighter sounding acoustic. It's got the sustain. It's a nice guitar. I've had it for a while now.
Yeah, and this one has the original pickup in it, I believe.
It does. I kind of don't like the original pickup. I'm looking into changing it, but I haven't really found one that I'm
crazy
super.
about. Yeah.
I know,
There's
a funny thing.
Lot to look at.
Acoustic guitar pickups are so weird.
Yeah, and a lot of them now are using microphones and.
Yeah, because like when you use an acoustic pickup, it's gonna sound like an acoustic guitar, but is it gonna sound like your acoustic guitar? How much is it actually gonna pick up?
Yeah. Well, you made it sound really good today, so
thank you.
I hope you find the pickup that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And
then that thing over there is definitely like
the piano.
The best writing tool you could ever have. That is hands down the best. It's just because you can pull so many sounds out of it on the fly. So if you're trying to write something or do whatever compositionally, like it's fantastic.
So when did piano come into your life? You started with the electric guitar.
I'm definitely no piano player. So like,
well, you played it today.
I played it, but it's like I'm not like a. If I
So how long have you been doing the piano then? Do you think?
Not very seriously. Like I wouldn't even say I play. It's hard to say. Like I first touched one like when I was really young, but I kind of know the theory and how to make it work. I can go very slowly and work out my ideas on it, but I'm not like technically adversed in it. I can play, chords and play with a band, but I would definitely have to practice up, but I would not want to do it. It's just not my ground. But the sounds and as a writing tool, it's the best thing. It's way better than a guitar.
Okay, good for you. Well, thank you for sharing all of this great advice on
thank you for having me here.
Pianos, guitars, and pedals. All the great things. And the best of luck in your studies. If you have a second to tell us a bit about where you're at right now in your studies.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to hear.
Right now I'm at Berklee College of Music, and I'm studying songwriting. That's the program I'm in.
Wonderful. And is that great. In Boston?
Yeah, it's the Boston campus.
Yep,
they have one in Valencia, but I never looked into it.
Very good. And this is year one?
Pardon me?
Year one for you? Or
no,
year two?
this will be, I'm actually finishing early. This will be my last year. I'm finishing it in 3 years.
In 3 years.
Yeah.
Very good. And how do you like Boston?
It's really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's like it definitely has this charm.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see that movie Good Will Hunting?
Yes.
It's exactly like that movie. Yeah.
And I had friends living in Boston, so I got to go over to the university and bought a T-shirt and all that stuff, and a couple books from professors in the music program.
Okay.
It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely like a cool place, but it's just really loud. I wear earplugs everywhere I go. I try to like really protect my hearing.
Yep. Well, save it for when you're playing music.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Christian, for sharing all your music and your love of music for us all on our show here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.